straight, eyes closed, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling that power you have, your determination to control your breathing. The same way you can take control of your mind anywhere you are, whatever you're doing. Let's use that same power, that same determination to see in our mind the image, the visions that we want to create today in our lives. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all of the stretches and exercises we do together here and now. Let's use that power we have, our true being, our presence, our determination to see in our mind right now, go into the future. Think about what you want to make real. Bring it to the present. That music goes off.
Do 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 do.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. I said uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you've said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! It might seem
With this corner, near post, the flick side, goal! Off the captain, Hungary leads.
Good morning, guys. As we close off with Will Smith, I want to share with you his last rule of success, but one of the most important, and that is one word: focus. Focus is everything. Will Smith shares with us when he was growing up watching the movie Star Wars, and he gives the example of how he was just floored and amazed by the creativity and just the pure impact that movie had on him. And he tells us that he wants to be world class at what he does. And for us to do that, for him to do that, for anybody to do that, it requires an obsessive focus. And so think about your life. Think about something you love to do. Whatever that is, you have to focus. You have to use that powerful aspect of our mind to focus on one thing and go all in on it. And when you do, you start to realize your true power. So I hope you do that today and forever. Have a great morning, everyone.
And I want to have a frank conversation around money. I want to talk about how do you win the year financially this year. And I talk a lot about affluence, and I want to just lay the groundwork here real quickly. And those of you that know me know that it's not a training with me if I don't do any kind of drawing. So I might just do some drawing on the iPad for y'all and everything. And that is this: is that affluence is often confused with opulence, and that's not what I mean. Actually, affluence has four aspects to it, and I'm going to draw it out for you, and you'll see it if you stay here. You'll be able to see it this way. But there's four things that affluence have, an affluent life has. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a student, whether you're a homemaker. It doesn't matter whether you're a corporate exec. This is the way I started to look at things, and you'll hear a little more about my story and how this came about. But the first aspect of an affluent life is that it's a meaningful life. And what do I mean by that? I mean that it's a life that gives you joy from the inside out. Gives you joy from the inside out. The challenge is that a lot of times we spend our life doing things that isn't giving us joy. You know, and so what I want to do is make sure that, first off, that the things that you're doing are meaningful to you. The second aspect is that it's impactful. The first part, meaningful, is internal. Impactful is external. It's how am I making a difference in the people and the lives that I serve, the differences that I make, the people that I get a chance to be around? Okay, so it's impactful. Now, meaningful life is typically has to do with the plan that you put in place. Impactful life typically has to do with the vision you create. Okay, now there's two other aspects to it. Now, the third aspect, and this is the only aspect that has to do with money, is that it needs to be a fruitful life. I got to pay the bills. I got to look, and I'm an accountant, so we're going to talk about that. And so I want to pay the bills. It's got to be fruitful. It's got to take care of my needs. It's got to take care of my desires. It's got to take care of my dreams. Okay. And that's about building what I call a money machine. We'll talk a bit more about that over this year and see what needs to be in place for that. And then the third aspect, and this becomes really important, I think, from the context of what we're looking at, is that it needs to be a peaceful life. I mean, if we look back of where we've been in the last 2 years and everything, is at really understanding how do we live a meaningful life, an impactful life, a fruitful life, and a peaceful life. That to me is affluence. It has nothing to do with opulence. You can have affluence sitting in a tent in Montana or a yacht in Monaco. Okay, it doesn't matter what your definition of success is, or your definition is, as long as it's meaningful, impactful, fruitful, and peaceful. And so as we move forward, when we talk about affluence, I'm going to invite you to take that on. If that makes sense to you, let me know in the chat. Let me know that this is landing for you. Okay, so whether you have, and I want to be really clear on this, because the very first key is this: the money taboo is keeping you broke. The fact that we can't communicate, or that we choose not to communicate about money, is a problem. You know, I was just reading a thing. It was a law that was just passed in Ohio, where now it's a requirement for all high school students to go through a financial literacy program. And when we do some numbers here, you'll start to see how we can cure the financial ills. Now, the problem with the money taboo is we all have these stories, we all have these emotions, and I have them. I've interviewed billionaires, millionaires, and on down to people that are just starting out. And you know, without question, every single one of them has some level of shame, blame, embarrassment, or guilt around money. Some because they have money, some because they had it and lost it, some because they don't have it, some for whatever reason, it's there. So the stories are something that we need to deal with. But if we have money problems, we can't solve money problems without having money conversations. How many problems in this world ever get solved without a conversation? So what I want to do is make sure that we have sane, safe conversations around money. And the first things to do is for you to commit to saying, I'm going to have a conversation. I'm not going to shun this money conversation. And I would be, I'd be remiss to do this if I didn't say this. I actually believe that there is no such thing as a money problem. Now, you might be saying, Mel, I'm trying to pay my bills. I'm trying to figure this out. What do you mean there's no such thing as a money problem? Now, this is hard for people to take on sometimes when I say this, but what you're really dealing with is a money symptom. See, where we are financially is a symptom of our behaviors, our habits, and our choices of the past. Okay? Everything's a money symptom of what we've done in the past. Here's the tough part of that. I now have to take responsibility of it. Remember what I said. You have to take responsibility. I didn't say blame. Okay. I am not without mistakes. I lost 1/3 of my net worth in a Ponzi scheme, well into 7 figures. Me and two other buddies, between the three of us, we lost $4.5 million. Okay. I had to take responsibility for it. I didn't take the blame, but I took responsibility, because then it gave me the opportunity to say, I can change my behaviors. I can change my decisions. I can change my choices. And now I can change my money symptoms. And so it's important for us to start to have these conversations at a level that we start to understand that we're in the behavior game. It's not a money game when we look at it. So that's key number one.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.
Seems crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too hot. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too hot. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too hot. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Yo, DJ Ralph. ¿Quién fue Páez? Sí. Atención con esta, viene el disparo, golazo, por Dios. ¡Gol de Ecuador!
Good afternoon, guys. When we look at focus and our ability to take one thing and focus solely on that thing, when we look at that, it really is determination. And yes, it's my one word, it's my purpose, it's my core, and I love sharing that with you. And that's why I love my one word, determination. It means focus, it means making a choice, it means seeing that choice through until it's done. And that's really focus. So I want you to think about your life. Think about one thing that you can apply focus and determination on. Think about a success you've had in the past and go back to that. And I'm sure you'll see that in that was a focus that would not stop. It was a determination. It was never giving up until it was done. So apply that focus to what you really want in life. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Your new definition of confidence, embodied by the research. Confidence is the willingness to try. Confidence is an action. That's what it is. And this phenomenon has been heavily researched by social psychologists. And there's even a term for confidence being an action. See, there's this positive feedback loop that happens when you're willing to try something before you feel ready. When you're willing to step into that leadership role and put yourself out there and take risks and make mistakes and shove that self-doubt to the side. When you're willing to try, neuroscience research says that you create something called a confidence-competence loop. Every single time you try something new, you're either going to be really good at it or you're going to be terrible at it. But you always learn something. But you have to try.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them, because I want to wake up every single day and get pushed by somebody who's doing a lot more than me. And in watching their videos, it inspires me to be bolder, to have more courage, and to go chase down the life of my dreams. And I hope it does the same for you. So today, let's learn the 7 steps to build massive confidence. Enjoy.
If you try something for the first time, you're either going to fail or succeed, but you always learn something. And that's where this confidence-competence loop and the neuroscience research comes in. Because even when you try, when you learn a little something, you gain a little competency, right? Because of everything that you learned the first time around, it gets a little bit easier. It gets a little bit better. But it all begins with being willing to try, no matter where you're starting from. Because if you are the kind of person that's always willing to try, you will always grow and you will always learn. And the more that you try and the more that you learn, the less you doubt yourself, the less resistance that you have, and bada bing, bada boom, all of a sudden you feel confident in this new role. All of a sudden you feel confident doing a backflip off a boat because you tried 1,000 times and you belly flopped and you embarrassed yourself and you got a wedgie. And then what do you know? Because you were willing to keep trying, all of that competency that got gained of trying over and over and over and over again, it's how you gained mastery. See, feeling confident is kind of, it's almost like the wrong way to say it, because that's what you feel after you've done it over and over and over again. But true confidence begins the moment you're willing to try. Okay? And so I really think it's important. I can give you another example. The first time somebody handed me chopsticks, I had no idea how to use them. Was I nervous about picking them up and I couldn't get like my fingers to twist in the way that you're supposed to, and it was super embarrassed and they kept like flipping across the table and everybody. Here's the thing. I didn't know how to use them, but isn't it common sense that there's no way I was going to learn how to use them if I wasn't willing to try? See, being confident and the skill of confidence is the difference between saying, sure, hand me the chopsticks. I'd love to try. I'm willing to look like an idiot. I'm willing to be a beginner first, versus going, can you get me a fork? I don't know how to use those. Do you see the difference? The skill begins with being willing to try.
Step number 2 is reveal uncertainty with Brendan Burchard.
Reveal uncertainty. This one is the opposite dynamic of how I used to think of confidence, right? We think of confident people as people who are just like, bum, you know, it's like Wonder Woman, right, is confident. We think of Superman is confident, who just knows everything. Really what it turns out to be, high performers are a lot, listen to this, high performers are a lot less Superman and a lot more Clark Kent. That's what it turned to be. In all the research with millions of data points, in all of my conversations, high performers were much more likely to reveal things like, I don't know, things like, I'm unsure, things like, how do you think this should go? Things like, could you kind of help me with this? Like high performers literally explicitly share that they don't know how it's going, they don't know how it's supposed to go, that they need some help, that they need some mentorship, that they need some guidance. That's confidence. Confidence is not holding back the deck of cards of your weaknesses. Confidence is a comfort with vulnerability. And when people say vulnerability, they often don't know what they mean. When we're talking about vulnerability, specifically related to confidence and high performance, like measurable outcomes, the thing that we can measure and see is that high performers in group meetings, in team meetings, in social situations, more often share their insecurity. They more often say, I don't know how this is supposed to go. Or, they'll be the person, at that fruit punch bowl who says, I don't really know anybody here. I don't really know how to start to meet some of these people. Could you introduce me to somebody? And that's how they handle the social networking, where they're awkward. They instead of just sitting back at the punch bowl, drowning their sorrows and feeling bad about themselves, they engage the person next to them and say, hey, you know what? I feel kind of awkward here. I don't know a lot of people. Could you introduce me? That's how high performers are handling these little situations in life. They're not the most confident person in the meeting who goes, I know everything here. They're the most confident in going, you know what? I don't know this. Here's my question. What do you guys think? And that is how you lead confidently. You reveal that you don't know everything. Saying I don't know is power, not weakness. But you've been trying to do too many things on your own. And that's one reason you don't have the confidence you deserve at this stage of your life. Because see, I didn't want to start with my definition of confidence for you, because I want you to be thinking about it, but I'd like to share it now that we've talked about defining and measuring it. The way I look at confidence is I think the confidence that matters the most is the confidence in one's belief in our ability to figure things out. That's what I believe confidence to be. Do I believe in my ability to figure things out? Not, do I know things? Because it's not always true. There's a lot of things I don't know. But do I believe in my ability to figure things out? Now there, I'm confident. Not because I'm smart, because I'm good at asking. I'm good at saying, you know what? I don't know how to do this. What do you guys think? And I hope this is settling in for you, because sometimes your confidence is so low because you think your confidence is correlated with what you know versus what you're willing and able to go figure out by revealing that you don't know. Got it?
Step number 3 is reframe anxiety as excitement with Amy Cuddy.
This was research done by a woman named Alison Wood-Brooks, who's at Harvard Business School. She's a professor. And she was like a wedding singer before she went to grad school.
Okay.
And she just didn't get nervous. And she was really interested in stage fright. Like, she was like, why do, I know it's kind of funny. She's like, this isn't hard for me. Why is it hard for you? No, but she's very confident. But she was really interested in stage fright. And she realized
and learning why people have stage fright.
Right. And she's a very positive person. And I think that what happened, and I don't want to tell her story for her, but my understanding is basically that she realized that for her, the nerves, so basically emotions have 2 dimensions: arousal level, like it's a high arousal or a low arousal,
and the fear, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And positive, negative. I mean, there's more than that,
Yes.
but like, think of it, those are the 2 dimensions, and emotions can be clustered around those. So she realized that she was having the same high arousal feeling in her body before she sang, but for her, she interpreted it as excitement.
You ready? I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Let's go! We shake it off. Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. When we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right. Then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up,
turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Some days you'll feel like you're on top, but some days go down like a big old flop. But I know what to do when I'm feeling blue. I just gotta feel the groove. Don't care what others say. No one's gonna ruin my day. Put a smile on, don't be shy. Begin to dance, it's worth a try.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
We shake it off. Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. When we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right. Then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Put your hands up, wave left to right, turn it around. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off.
Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way.
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you a story from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, to highlight the sort of funny aspect of when we realize how powerful our focus is on our internal being. And so he shares a story of a woman who had allowed a gentleman that she was taking care of, his misery, his lack of appreciation towards her, to control her life. And when Stephen Covey had suggested that she still had the power to control and choose her response, her first reaction was, how dare you have the nerve, the gall to tell me that my misery was is a result of me and not that man. But when she realized that it was her, in fact, that was allowing his misery to affect her, she felt free. She stood up and was released. And so it's a funny story, but a serious one too, of how powerful we are. Have a great evening, everyone.
I would credit much of the success I've had to learning how to write and to practicing writing. And the reason for that is that without writing, it's very hard to freeze your thinking on paper so that you can sharpen it, so that you can see where you're using words that aren't well defined, where you're saying things that don't need to be said. All of this will help everything else. I remember in college, for instance, when I took a class with John McPhee, an incredibly gifted writer and teacher, all of my grades in every other class went up because every extraneous bit of information that was hurting instead of helping me was taken out. So to sharpen the saw, a couple of different approaches. Write anything whatsoever, stream of consciousness, essay, doesn't really matter. Let's just call it 1 to 3 pages, something along the lines of morning pages.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them, because I want to wake up every single day and get pushed by somebody who's doing a lot more than me. And in watching their videos, it inspires me to be bolder, to have more courage, and to go chase down the life of my dreams. And I hope it does the same for you. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Tim Ferriss, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
You can see your thinking on paper. That accomplishes two things. Number one, it takes the anxieties and nebulous worries in your head, puts them down in a freeze frame so that you can kind of trap them in the printed form so you can get on with the rest of your day. The second thing it does is it allows you to see where you are sharp and where you are dull in your thinking. Now, if you are drafting, as I do, for instance, right now, once a week, writing, if you are looking for a proofreader, and you do need a proofreader, if you can't find a professional writer, because we can't all find professional writers, talk to friends who have any type of legal training. Or you could even hire a lawyer to do this, or a paralegal, someone with a law degree. They are trained to look at language very, very carefully, because in a dispute, in a negotiation, in a disagreement, arbitration, it's going to come down to the wording of contracts. And I have found that when I do not have access to professional writers, it is oftentimes just as good or even better to get lawyers or people with legal training to read my writing. So that would be a workaround that I accidentally discovered that is very powerful.
Rule number 2 is practice a low information diet.
What's a takeaway or lesson you wish more of us listeners paid attention to / followed through with? I would say in this day and age, probably the low information diet as described in the 4-Hour Workweek. I mean, here's my phone here. I have not had any social apps on this phone in 2 years. And that's not because I broadcast that for sitting on my moral high horse. It's because I understand that it is playing a dangerous game to assume that you can use willpower and self-control. At the very least, it is exhausting, and you can save your mental calories for something more important. To have this type of addictive technology embedded into your phone with notifications that you're subject to 24/7, through which algorithms are being wielded against you that have billions of dollars and teams of data scientists and UI experts behind them. I think it's unnecessarily challenging to subject yourself to that and to expect to be able to overtake that and single task effectively. Much like, and some people say like, well, I have better self-control. You can just use self-control. That may be true, but I could also have junk food littered all over my house. And I could make the same argument. I could say, well, if I have enough self-control, I won't eat the junk food. But it's a hell of a lot easier just to remove all the junk food from your house. So I do think the low information diet, this applies not just to social media, but certainly any type of push news, which could just be reactively picking up the newspaper every day when you go to grab a cup of coffee at a gas station or something like that. It doesn't need to be digital, but the low information diet, I think, is very much underestimated in its power. And if you can single task for a few hours a day without any interruption, which is why I use Do Not Disturb and so on my laptop as well as frequently as I do. And my phone is almost always on airplane mode. You will have a huge competitive advantage over the majority of people who are, let's just call them knowledge workers, anyone who works on a computer. If you have the ability to single task for, let's just call it 3 hours a day in a single block of time, you have an unbelievable competitive advantage. So I would say the low information diet.
Rule number 3 is be skeptical.
What would you put on a billboard? And maybe, how you answer that is a reflection on how you've changed or grown since the last time I saw you.
So last time I saw you, my answer probably would have been, you're the average of the 5 people you associate with most, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Pick your Pick your social circle very wisely. That includes virtual or parasocial relationships, by the way, like the people you follow on YouTube or podcasts. Choose carefully. The answer I would give now, I'm going to crib directly from a former guest of mine, Dr. BJ Miller, who's helped 1,000 plus, probably 2,000 plus people to transition to death and hospice care. Fascinating guy. And I think he got it from a bumper sticker, but it's great. And I think it sort of wraps everything nicely for me right now, which is don't believe everything you think. Like, don't believe everything you think. Really take a second to interrogate those things. Look for counter evidence. And there's so many stories, so many beliefs, right, which are thoughts we take to be true, that we've repeated for so long that they've become the subconscious 10 commandments through which we live our lives. And it's an ongoing process, but don't believe everything you think.
Rule number 4 is start journaling.
I practice mindfulness and gratitude, but still can't find a way to temper my drive, feel satisfied, and enjoy the present moment. How do I slow down and enjoy life again without being so focused on the future? Okay, so if I take a look at this, there are two things that jump out at me. And the first is you say, and enjoy life again. What that implies to me is that you have enjoyed life before. In other words, what you're striving to be able to do, you've already done at some point. So I think journaling on that, even if it's several days in a row, in the morning, longhand, stream of consciousness, something along the lines of morning pages. And I suggest you just look up my name in morning pages, and that'll give you a lot on how I think about these things and use these things. That would be step number 1.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5 is take cold plunges.
Feel that? Feel that power, that oneness of us controlling our breathing and our minds? Right here, right now, no matter how hard our movements, exercises were today, no matter how much our body tried to take control of our minds. Feel that? That's you. The real you. That's our consciousness. Our being awake fully. To control our minds, to control our breathing, to control our bodies, to control our lives. It's all possible through the power of you being present, staying in the now, right here, right now, wherever you are, wherever you are. There is no past and future right now. There's only the present, the gift that is you. The being that is you, which makes everything else possible. See, right here, right now, is just pure presence, pure happiness, pure winning, pure essence, pure determination.